Today, I'm so excited to introduce a new person that you will be seeing regularly on Oklahoma Gardening, who will be providing us with nutritional recipes. Jessica Riggin is the Lincoln County Extension Director and also the Family Consumer Science Educator in Chandler there. And Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today and joining us as we move forward with Oklahoma Gardening. We're excited to have you on the show. And I wanted to take some time to allow the audience to kind of get to know you a little bit. I know I've enjoyed talking with you behind the scenes, but you've got quite a history with OSU. Tell us a little bit about, you're from Oklahoma, right?
Yes, I'm from Oklahoma. I grew up in Marietta, Oklahoma, down in the southern part of the state. And when I came to college at OSU, that's actually where I met my husband on the cheerleading squad at OSU in 2004. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in hotel and restaurant administration. And then after coming to work for Extension, I went back to school to get my master's in nutrition. Okay. And so I have 3 degrees from OSU.
And you definitely know what you're doing in the kitchen, but with Family Consumer Science, that's not just about cooking. Tell us a little bit about what all that encompasses.
Yeah, I get to do a lot of fun things as the Family Consumer Sciences Educator. Cooking and nutrition is where my heart is. It's probably my favorite thing that I do, but I also do a lot with financial management, personal financial literacy with junior high and high school age students, and then family financial management with adults. I also do some parenting programs and some physical activity programs. One of them is yoga for kids, where I just go and do yoga with kids. And then I also have a walking program for people with arthritis.
It sounds like you really span the age range there, and obviously physical activity is important for somebody who's a former cheerleader, as you are. But a lot of times when we look at New Year's resolutions, people are thinking about that sort of stuff, as well as getting organized. And I'm excited that we're going to talk about meal planning today, because as a busy mother of 2, which you are as well, how can we get more organized in the kitchen?
So the best thing you can do if you want to cook more at home is to have an actual plan. And you can do it any way you want, whether it's you're planning for a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time or a month at a time. I prefer to do a month at a time. And I also prefer to write it down on just old school paper. I print out a calendar that's printable. I fill it out by hand. But there are also smartphone apps that you can download. You just have to search for one that you think works for you. There are some that as you fill out your menu and put in your recipes, it generates a grocery list. But those do cost money, and I don't have any good recommendations on a good one versus a bad one, because like I said, I really like to do it by hand, and then I just put this on my fridge and I can look at it anytime.
And then obviously you make your own grocery list off of what you've decided.
Right. I put my grocery list in my phone using just a list app that came with my phone, and I just go from there.
So how do you organize? I mean, again, looking at a blank calendar, like something like this might be intimidating for me. Like, where do I start? Am I thinking Italian, pizza, beef? What is it? How do you go filling this in?
So the way that I like to fill this in is using a formula, giving each day of the week a different theme. So I have more time to cook on Sunday nights, so I'll do a bigger dish that takes a little longer that's going to generate some leftovers. So I call that Big Supper Sunday. And then right now, our evening activities on Mondays are really hectic. So I do a slow cooker meal on Mondays, so I can kind of just set it and forget it.
And whatever time you get home, it'll be ready then.
Right. Awesome. And on Tuesdays, we have soup nights. On Wednesdays, I take those leftovers from Sunday and I turn them into something else. And I call that make overnight. You could call it planned overnight. You could call it cook once and eat twice night. But I call it make overnight. On Thursdays, I always do leftovers. By Thursday, I'm just kind of worn out from the week. And so we do leftovers. But
we probably have a selection of leftovers at that point too, maybe.
A lot of times we do have a few things to choose from. Probably not everybody can have the same thing.
Right.
But we try to use up all the leftovers, and we'll have dessert too.
Okay.
And then my Fridays and Saturdays change back and forth. Right now on Fridays, we're doing a sheet pan supper night so that everything gets cooked on the same sheet pan. I cover it in foil, and then I don't have to do any dishes.
You don't want dishes on Friday night, right?
And right now we're trying a new thing in our house where Saturdays is kid cook night, where my two girls get to take turns cooking with me or my husband and learning how to make a new dish.
Well, Jessica, I love that idea of kind of evaluating your personal schedule as to how much time you might have in the kitchen from night to night. Are there any more time-saving tips you might have for us?
Well, I could do a whole segment on kitchen time-saving tips, but one quick one would be smaller pieces of food cook faster.
Oh.
So if you wanted to cook a chicken breast, if you cut it up into bite-sized pieces, it's going to cook a whole lot faster than leaving it whole.
That makes sense. Well, I love your energy, and I'm so excited to have you on the show with us. And it sounds like you've got a lot more ideas for future segments for us. And so we look forward to seeing Jessica on the show as we continue through the season of Oklahoma Gardening. We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.